I have nothing to say for myself. Hello everybody, I'm Roxy, this is Chaotic Bibliophile, and before we get into the video, yes, hair, and I have a lot of pre-filmed videos, so get ready for a lot of inconsistency, basically. I want to get this up as soon as possible, however, just because, you know, book haul, low in editing, yeah. I am loving the haircut. It's pretty new, still getting used to it. Can't stop taking pictures. It also came with a gender reveal party, which sounds like a joke, but actually I was at a hairdresser place in Soho during Pride texting an undergrad classmate coming out because a couple months ago she almost randomly asked me like, hey, by the way, am I using the right pronouns for you? And at the time I was like, yeah, whatever, I really brushed it off. And that day I was actually like, hey, you were onto something. As it turns out, I'm non-binary and I use they, them pronouns now. And she was very cool about it, which is great. And I've been slowly coming out. More fun when I meet people and I get to say it for the first time. I don't know why, but like the coming out process with people you already know makes me very nervous. Maybe it's because I never really had to come out in terms of sexuality because it's so clear I'm not straight. Well, now it's even clearer. Anyways, I am in Lisbon. It is my last night and I'm cutting myself off. I am going to do some sightseeing tomorrow and there's the slightest chance that I might come across a bookshop and pick up a book, but I really hope I don't because I have been having the best time. And before you asked, no, I didn't go to Porto to see the most beautiful bookshop in the world because it's 4 hours away and I feel like there was so much already that I didn't do in Lisbon and I just didn't want to go running around. I do want to come back to Portugal. I want to see more of Lisbon and also I want to go to Porto and stay there for a few days. So that video will be coming at some point, but hey, let's just get on with the books. So I have 3 piles. One is just general books that I picked up at different places. Then I have all the Portuguese books or like Portugal related books. And then I have 4 books, yes, I said 4, that I picked up at this one specific bookshop that I really want to tell you about. So let's get on with it. By the way, go follow our Instagram, Book Crumbles Pod, because I snap pictures of the bookshops that I visit when I travel there. I rarely do that for my other Instagrams anymore, so make sure you follow that. Okay, so the first book I want to show you is In the Absence of Men by Philippe Besson. This was translated by Frank Wynne. Yeah, let's go with Wynne. And this was published, I think, in 2001, so pretty recent actually. And it's about a 17-year-old during World War II? No, World War I. And he has an electrifying encounter with the enigmatic writer Marcel P. I wonder who that is. And then, yeah, he starts an affair with an older man. I read the first couple of pages and they sound very interesting. It is a first-person narrative with a very narcissistic 16-year-old. So we'll see how that plays out for our entire book. Luckily, it's really short, so maybe the novel can't sustain it. I think a lot of people might be super annoyed by the voice, but I am actually kind of intrigued. So there we go. Then I have a dystopian classic, Kallocian, and this is translated from the Swedish by David McDuff. I originally picked up this book, like literally picked it up from a table because I love this painting by Hilma Klint and it's lovely. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is in the Pompidou Center, or at least I think I picked up a postcard of it at the Pompidou Center. Anyways, but it also really intrigued me because it says, written midway between Brave New World and 1984, as the terrible events of the Second World War were unfolding, Kallocian depicts a totalitarian world state which seeks to crush the individual entirely. I am not like big on dystopian fiction. I'm also not against it. I'm kind of like, if the book is good, I like it sort of mindset. And this looks really, really good, and I'm really, really interested. Then I picked up 2 books at this really, really good secondhand bookshop. I keep forgetting the name, so I will list it down below. But the owner is a super cool woman. If you live in Lisbon or you are coming through with a lot of books, she does buy them for store credit if you want to exchange them. And she has like such quality books. The first one that I got there was The Burning Library, Writings on Art, Politics and Sexuality, 1969-1993 by Edmund White. I have not read a full Edmund White novel yet, but I do like how he writes, and I picked into his criticism with this, and it's fascinating. He has a really cool essay called Aesthetics and Laws, where he talks about how art has been responding to the art and media, I should say, has been responding to the AIDS crisis, and his take really is really, really good. And he also has a really good essay on Tennessee Williams called Writer on a Hot Tin Roof. I love how it starts because it says, "There are no second acts in the lives of American writers because everyone gets drunk during the intermission." Yeah, it's just a really cool book, and I'm so glad that I found a copy. I don't know if it's still in print, but I got it for a really nice price, so there we go. And then something very random, but I loved this edition, is The Theater, A Concise History by Phyllis Hartnoll. Yeah, it is what it says on the tin. I am sure this is not as updated as it could be, but I don't care. I just love the illustrations. Seems somewhat comprehensive and truly concise, so looking forward to reading this. And a book that I already read. There you go. Go me, buying books and reading them right away. This is Sassy Planet, A Queer Guide to 40 Cities. And this was written by a team. I don't know if the authors, Harish, Bhandari, David Dodge, and Nick Schiarizzi. Illustrated by Bráulio, Amado. I found this unputdownable because the voice is so compelling, and of course it's not a long book to read. Like, it has a lot of illustrations and just not that much text, but actually it's so informative. It actually talks about the places in very interesting ways. So I will talk more about this on my July wrap-up. I just really, really appreciated it. And fun fact, I read the Lisbon spread and they recommended a club, and I went, and it was a really nice club, and I met really nice people there. So there you go. Moving on to the Portugal books, starting with A Very Short History of Portugal by A.H. the Oliveira Marques. And this is a condensed version of a 3-volume book that Oliveira Marques wrote. I don't know when, but I'm really, really excited. I love these little editions. This is indeed a Portuguese imprint, Tinta Latina. They come in different colors, so I chose the green because it's my favorite color. I really want to read a short history of every single country in the world that I can find a short history of. I want to do a project like that in the future. Of course, I think next year. In any case, I found this and I thought it was really cool. And the other one that I kept seeing was for tourists, and I like that this is clearly for tourists as well because it's in English, but the original project wasn't, and it's by a Portuguese historian. So then I have a book in Spanish, yes, by José Saramago. No, I have not read Blindness yet. I will at some point, but I haven't yet. This is nonfiction, however. It's his travel journal. He took, I don't know if this was one big trip or a collection of different notes he made while going on different trips across Portugal. But it's basically that, and I'm very excited to read it and to read more Saramago. I read the preface where he trashes prefaces, and I love that. So off to a great start. Then I have a book in Portuguese. Now, can I read Portuguese? Debatable, especially because this is poetry. But I connected with some of the poems. This is, Cadernos das duas irmãs e do que elas sabiam by Regina Guimarães. I do not speak Portuguese, clearly. The Notebook of Two Sisters and What They Knew. Again, if I have not run this through Google, I actually would like to read this without Google, just like maybe Googling like words that I really don't understand. It just sounds fun. Very excited. Speaking of poetry, something much more realistic. This is 28 Portuguese Poets, a bilingual anthology, edited with an introduction by Richard Zinith, who, by the way, is the author of the new, apparently wonderful Fernando Pessoa biography, which I also want to read, and translated by Richard Zinith and Alexis Levitan. Other than Pessoa and Saramago, I don't know anything. Here to learn. Oh, postcards, nice. Another book in Spanish. This is a classic. It's The Crime of Father Amado by José María Esa de Queiroz. And it's interesting because I momentarily crashed a tour the other day just because I wanted to check out some graffiti and some street art. And the guy was talking and he mentioned Esa de Queiroz, probably. He apparently was a big critic of the Catholic Church. This is about like a really corrupt priest, and I am always up for that. And then the one I am most excited because I honestly didn't know I was going to buy so many books, because I didn't know there were so many books in English and in Spanish, like readily available in all bookshops that I visited. But I was very excited to buy this one book, and I didn't know what edition I was going to get, and finally I got a really good Spanish edition. So without further ado, it is The Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa, and this is translated by Angel Crespo. Now, as I understand, the newly revised edition by Serpent's Tail is also really good if you're looking for something in English. But I am excited because Angel Crespo actually put together this edition, which is one of the most important ones that was used as a base for a lot of editions in other languages. I don't know if English, but yeah, he's a very important Pessoa scholar. So I'm just excited. And also, if you're reading Spanish, Seix Barral, I just really like their books. They're like big and come with French flaps, and the paper is so nice to read, like good font size. And finally, I went to this really hidden bookshop called ZDB, like ZBD. And it is a really cool, independent, very artsy bookshop. They sell books in many different languages. Some books are actually in different languages, like French and Portuguese and Spanish and English in the same book, which is really cool. And they also sell some secondhand books. It's just so nice. It's mostly about art, but not in the traditional Taschen way, although if you know me, you know I love my Taschen, but it's just really cool, and I couldn't resist. I ended up getting 4 books, which is shameful, but also no regrets. The most expensive one was this one, The Reading Gaze, My Comics by Domingos Isabelino, but I really wanted to get this one because I had the feeling that if I didn't, I wasn't going to get it anywhere else, and this already happened. There's this one graphic novel that I didn't buy in Leeds, and I've been desperately searching for it, and it's very hard to get because it's Canadian, and so I think I'm gonna have to order it from Canada, and it just pisses me off that I didn't buy it at that time because I had the money and I just wanted to restrain myself, and so I'm not doing that anymore. If I can't afford it, I'm buying it. I'm not sure if this is the right approach to life. Also, I'm running out of space, so we'll talk. After the masters, things will cool down and I'll film videos about, you know, getting my TBR down. Don't have heart attacks. For now, let's get back to buying books. Okay. So The Reading Gaze. This is about Domingo Isabelino's taste in comics. Not just comics in the traditional sense, but just art and sequential art, and where art becomes text, and where it becomes comic books. And so I'm just super excited. He has one chapter on graphic novels and he goes really technical as well. He analyzes panels and I'm just super excited. And of course he talks a lot about Portuguese comic artists, and I have no idea of that, so really wanted to check that one out. Life is a Simple Mess by T. Literally, the artist is called Travassos, and the text is by Nate Woolley, and it's just an art book with some, you know, text that can double either as sort of reflection, essays. It's like very experimental. I loved the art. I just loved it. I love that there are so many different styles. I'm trying to get more into drawing and like build up my skills, but also just like get ideas and inspiration to just, you know, make time to express more creativity. And books like this are great. Comes with a CD of music. I'm sure it will be like very minimalist, very electronic. Actually the instruments are listed here. I don't have a place to play it yet, but I'll find a way. Super excited for that one. And then I have two insane books. This one is DJ Kat Goshi World Tour by Harukichi, and this is translated, I assume, from Japanese by Marcos Farajota. It's a comic book about a cat who's a musician. He's a DJ and he goes on world tour. And I love the art style and how the palette sort of transforms throughout the book. As I said, I can read a little bit of Portuguese and this is not really heavy on text, so I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. Finally, I bought a book in English called Treatment, a novel by Adrian Bridget. Something in the back of my mind tingled when I saw this. Like, I think I've heard of this novel before. The summary sounds a bit pretentious, to be honest, but I started reading it and it grabbed me. It's broken down into 5 parts. One is the opening and the others are called Quarantine. So that is interesting. It says that Bridget's mouth theater, Sid Allen and Alan, 2 precarious spectral characters set against an eerie backdrop of clinical isolation, framed by a nameless narrator. These mirrored figures undergo 40 text treatments across 4 artificially generated days that survey their feelings of angst, adulation, and disorientation against the slow tick of a clock. A mashup of love story, pornography, art criticism, literary appropriation, and essayistic meditation, Treatment pushes an anatomical body to its limits in a parodic portrayal of a mouth on the hunt for a tongue and its teeth. So it sounds insane. It's been a while since I read something this insane, and we're matching. Maybe this should be like my thumbnail. And I'll just pretend that I only bought this one book. Hey, this is Roxy from the future. I'm gonna be real with you. I bought 3 more books. It was just a spur of the moment thing. I went right after the Botanical Gardens, which was also a repeat, and I just couldn't resist. So I will show those to you now. And I hope, instead of harping on how unhinged I am regarding book buying, you'll appreciate how honest I am by telling you about these books. First, we have A General Theory of Oblivion by José Eduardo Aguadusa. And this is just what looked like a really solid Portuguese language novel. I'm sorry I can't tell you the translator right now, but I will at some point, and it'll be in the description as always. Then a really short novella, Requiem, a Hallucination by Antonio Tabucchi. Italian, but sort of Portuguese as well, author. He adopted Portugal as his adopted country, and I love Tabucchi and I want to read more by him. And then my documents, Spanish edition by Alejandro Zambra. Zambra in Spanish is very hard to come by in London, so there we go. I don't own this collection of short stories, which I think can also be read as a novel, so I'm very excited. So that's it. Last little book haul section for you. Yes, I am a disgrace and I have no regrets. Back to the past. Okay, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe and comment. Have you read any of these books? Especially Pessoa, I think, or Saramago. Those are the most well-known, or maybe Edmund White. What do you think? Have you bought anything interesting? I think I asked that last week or video. I hope this will be up this week. It would be good. See you next time. Bye. I promise the next video will be the Sayaka Murata. I promise. And then I'm going to wrap up the June books. And then I shall catch up with the books that I have yet to review from months past. And then I will do Entangled Life, Felicity, Justine, and in between some more July wrap-ups. I promise I will catch up, is what I'm saying.